Well, welcome back again this week. This week I'm going to talk about things that look different on the surface than what they are under the surface. Going to look at some duplicity in three areas, and they are involved in the trade areas in Cuba and with Iran. Now the thing is that we see that basically Republicans are supporting the free trade agreements, and the unions and the environmentalists are opposed to these agreements. Well, that's what it seems. But when you get into the various contacts that these people have and the way they work behind the scenes, that's not exactly what is going on. For instance, Richard Trumka, president of the AFL-CIO, met with the leader of the Peterson Institute for International Economics. Now, this is part of the Peterson orbit, if you will. And Peter Peterson was the former head of the Council on Foreign Relations, and he runs all of these things. And the Council on Foreign Relations is the New World Order organization, so to speak. They like these agreements, these free trade agreements, these pacts, these partnerships, because it is building the New World Order. And so Trumka has come out opposing the Pacific Agreement, the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. But then he turns around and he says this: citing Europe's high living standards and cultural similarities, Trumka said, quote, "There's a good chance it could succeed, and I wish, quite frankly, that it had come first, because it then would have been a model for TPP, which would have made life for everyone a lot better." And so basically what he's saying, he's opposed to the Pacific one because that's kind of controversial right now. But gee, it would be real nice if we had an agreement, a partnership with Europe. And he uses the excuse of it having a better standard of living there. But the thing is that these are partnerships. They are mergers. That's what partnership means. And the pronouncements out of the White House and the think tanks that are for these things always refer to it as economic integration. In other words, interdependency economically, where we would not be able to be free to make our own unilateral decisions for our economic areas and ultimately for our Constitution either. So one hand they say this, on the other hand they say that. They're just looking for a better deal, and then it won't be simply Republicans. It will be the unions as well as the environmentalists coming out for these deals. Another thing that's going on is that Obama signals Cuba's drop from terrorist list. Now, we assumed that would happen this last weekend, but it hasn't happened yet because everybody was all antsy about Obama going and shaking hands with Raul Castro over the weekend. And the thing is that a lot of people don't understand the politics behind this. Because back in the day, in the 60s and the 70s, Cuba, through its intelligence bureaus, was very much involved in domestic terrorism in the United States. They trained American terrorists. A lot of these anti-war and even civil rights people went to Cuba to be trained in domestic unrest and how to build bombs and everything else. The Venceremos Brigade and others, the Students for Democratic Society, and some of those leaders were Bernadette Dorn and Ayers, who actually blew things up. They were domestic terrorists, and they were joined at the hip with Cubans. And these two individuals mentored Obama when he was a young man and got him started in politics, from being a street organizer into politics. And so basically what Obama's doing is paying back his mentors by first recognizing Cuba, now going to be dropping the terrorists, them from the terrorist watch list, and then Cuban intelligence is going to come into the United States through the embassy and consulates all over the United States and start to participate under diplomatic immunity in terrorist activities within our country. That is what's going to happen. You can etch it into stone. You've heard it here. It will happen because that's the nature of Cuban communism. They run Venezuela through the Cuban Intelligence Bureau. And they put some people out front, for instance. This latest one is Maduro. And incidentally, while Obama was shaking the hand of Raul Castro, he also spent a meeting with Maduro over the weekend, talking about easing tensions between the United States and Venezuela. And this is the sort of thing that's going on. Obama has always been surrounded by communists in his early years and put a lot of them into his government when he became president as czars and that sort of thing. Van Jones just being one example of that. And so what's going on is payback. They put a man into the White House due to, for people wanting change and hope and all the rest of the other slogans that they used. And now it's coming home to roost, that the communist apparatus is getting what it invested in through the office of the presidency of the United States. Another thing, for instance, that's going on is in this Wall Street Journal, political battle ramps up over Iran, because there are a lot of people in the Senate and other areas of the country that don't like what's going on relative to these negotiations with Iran. It just seems like it's very, very strange that in Iraq, the United States is cooperating with Iran. In Yemen, we're not cooperating with Iran. And in regards to nuclear proliferation, who knows what we're cooperating or not cooperating with in these deals that want to be kept secret from the Congress and the people of the United States. So how can you be the friends of a country in this country but enemies of that same country in another country? It just doesn't compute. It doesn't make any sense unless you realize that what they're trying to do is to create a chaos in such a manner that it ultimately leads toward a new world order. There are a number of things that if you take into account, what they're trying to do is regionalize the world. They want to regionalize the Middle East under one government. They want to regionalize the Atlantic and Northern Hemisphere, North America specifically, into a regional government. And build these regional governments on the step towards a one world government, their new world order. That's really what's going on. Out of the chaos, that's what's going to come about. If you keep that in mind, then you will understand the machinations that are happening before our eyes. One thing that I kind of had to get a kind of a chuckle, actually a guffaw, when I read it, was this morning's Wall Street Journal. It says, Clinton, party aim to buck history. And what I guffawed over was Hillary Clinton ended years of speculation about her plans Sunday. What do you mean, years of speculation about her plans? Everybody knew she was going to run for president of the United States. It's kind of a ludicrous opening, isn't it? That she now ends speculation about her plans. Everybody knew she was going to run for president. But the other thing that kind of got me was that she's quoted here saying, "Every day Americans need a champion, and I want to be that champion." And she talks about the people who are rich. There's still this big gap between the people on the top and the people on the bottom. Well, how can she say things like that when she's on the top? And yet she uses that as a political ploy. And as far as being the champion of the little guy, I just quite frankly think that she'd look real funny in a Wonder Woman costume. It just doesn't compute with me, and I don't even want it to. I don't even want to think about that. But here you see this rhetoric being used to sell a woman who's at the top and try and make her a champion of the people on the bottom. They did it with Obama, they've done it with Clinton, they've done it with Carter, etc., etc. It's time for us to really get serious, get involved, and take back our government by working for good candidates. Now, we don't get involved with political process here, but we urge that people do. We urge that every individual get involved in their community to get good local candidates and congressional candidates and senatorial candidates. It's the only way we're going to turn this thing around. And until we're ready to do that, until you're ready to do that, then all the rest of it, all this study, everything that you know won't mean a thing. The conspiracy that wants to rule us does not care what you know. They only care about what you're going to do about it. Until next week, we'll see you then.